and welcome back to White Claw Wednesday, episode number 70. Oh, yeah. We hit
70.
7-0. Let's crack these claws. Ooh. All right.
Oh, yeah.
Another digital cheers. Is this our last digital cheers, Ryan? What's the
This
status?
could possibly be our last digital cheers, yes. Well, last for a while.
Last for a
I
while,
will be
yeah.
back. I will be back. Oh, I didn't even sip. Ooh, let me get another one of those. Ooh, one more. All right, that's good stuff. I will be back next Monday, actually, next Monday. But we may need to do another one, or unless you want to do a Wednesday episode.
So a week from yesterday, you're going to be back.
Yeah, I'll be back. I'll be back in 6 days.
Here's the thing, Ryan. I got to ask you, what's it been like getting things together to leave? Because I have never, lived in a place for that amount of time that isn't in California and nearby,
Yeah, it doesn't feel that strange to me. I mean, it definitely feels weird leaving for sure, just because we've been here for almost 5 months now.
Yeah.
But it's not like we moved our entire apartment here. Like I just packed like 2 suitcases and booked it over here.
True.
So it's not like we're actually packing things up. I mean, we're selling the house here. At least Amanda's family is selling the house. So, we're doing a lot of stuff, and Amanda's family is going to move back to California. I mean, I say family; it's really just her mom here.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, things are moving here, but it doesn't feel weird for me. No.
Okay.
If anything, it felt weird coming here.
Yeah.
More.
Speaking of moving.
What's that?
I have to move over to the left side of where I'm sitting and turn off a fan.
Frank with the casual. Don't you guys love his little segues? He always does that. He goes, speaking of
move
this.
Right back over like I never left.
And then he'll segue into something, and sometimes it's not even like. Sometimes it's not even accurate to what he's trying to segue into. I'm talking about your segues.
Oh, my segues? Yeah.
You're always like,
speaking
of this, and then you'll go into something else.
Yeah. But here's what I was thinking, just like, because I just, recently moved as well. And it felt like whenever I would start a new task or try to complete something, at the very beginning of it, it always felt kind of like, whoa, okay. Slow down, like just prioritize things. It feels kind of daunting in certain moments and a little overwhelming maybe. And I just wonder, like, I mean, I was just driving, 60-ish miles to another spot and moving stuff, in an hour.
Is it 60 miles?
Yeah, it's just over 60 miles. It's just like 65 miles away.
Wow.
From Riverside. And so that was. That's what I'm wondering is, like, you're in Hawaii and, like, you're now moving your whole life back to California. I'm just wondering, like, have you been packing, like, for days, for weeks? Like, how long? Like, what kind of? I'm just curious. Are you flying? Are you flying through, or is it causing any stress? I just got to know.
I'm flying through the packing situation. I mean, I don't have much stuff here. Like, I really left my life in California and came here with, like, again, 2 suitcases. So it's not really like smart. I'm packing things up and shipping them over or anything like that. I mean, I barely took anything. The biggest thing that I took was this monitor here, which, coincidentally fits right into my biggest suitcase. Nice. So that's a plus.
Okay. Well.
But yeah, man, I'm excited to come home. I really am. I mean, my time here has been amazing, especially when I took those 2 weeks off, and it was a great time. But definitely missing California. Definitely missing the family, the homies.
Yep.
Yeah, man. I'm ready to come home for sure. But it's been fun and yeah, I wouldn't change it for the world for sure.
I feel. You think your car battery is going to be still alive?
Oh, that thing's done, dude. That thing is done.
You really think so? That's how it works?
Oh, yeah. It's done for sure. There's no way that it has battery left. Because it was struggling before, I told you that before, but they actually have, I might send a car charger over to California because there's like a car charger here. And that's one of the things that I've been doing is I've been trying to sell cars because they got 3 cars here and we got to sell them before we leave. And yeah, I know.
Damn.
Yeah, it's been tough. We actually just sold one today.
Which one?
Thank God. It was the red Jeep.
The red,
the one that
dude.
you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
That one was like, I remember being like in the white one and then seeing the red one and just thinking like, oh, that one's kind of cooler.
I actually like the white one better personally.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I do. The red one's definitely newer. So I'm talking about a 2005 Jeep Liberty versus a 2007 Jeep Liberty.
That's not a huge
Red being
difference.
the 7. No, it's not.
They basically look like the exact same model.
Yeah, I mean, they're very similar.
Didn't change much with that model between those couple years.
No. And it's not, it's funny, like, it's a Jeep, but it doesn't remind me of a Jeep, The white one does.
Oh, yeah.
The red one doesn't. I don't know what
doesn't? Okay.
I don't know what the design is on it that doesn't trigger Jeep for me, but it just doesn't.
I wonder what the time span is for a car company to change or revamp its model, its design,
like the generations.
Exactly, in a big way. Because you think about Camrys or Civics or Accords or just basically any model car that has lasted for a long time, and you think about like there's sections of years where it pretty much looks the same going all the way.
It's usually like 5 years or something like that. I don't know exactly.
I'm guessing it's like 3 to 5, probably closer to 5. And like every 5th year they're doing like a whole revamp. And sometimes the revamp is either like, oh hell yeah, or it's like, damn, I missed the old one. It's
well, what's so funny is you remember my CRV, right?
Oh yeah.
My old CRV.
Yeah. Oh, this is a good example. I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Classic car. Classic, man. And that was a 2002. Was it 2002?
I thought it was 2000, dude. I thought it was like...
It was either 2000 or 2002.
Yeah.
I can't even remember. But
it was old, dude.
It was a classic car,
it was so old that it didn't have automatic headlights.
Yeah. It didn't even have like a aux cord, man. Remember I had this like retrofitted tape that it was literally a tape, a cassette that I would put in, and it would have
had a string coming out of it. It had an aux cord coming out of it.
Yeah.
And you would like, that was awesome. That was
Isn't
awesome.
that crazy?
That.
Yeah.
That was a cool thing.
So I had that, and then, but yeah, back to like the models and the generations. So they had that model, which was sick. It was amazing, and that was like in the 2000s. I don't know. But not the current generation of CRVs. The current generation of CRVs are actually pretty sick. But the previous generation, and they had it for a long time. It was ugly, man. Like it was bad. I was really it hurt me when I saw one. And I was like, man, that's going downhill.
I think I know what you're talking about.
They had this weird like butt that
it had a
like
weird butt
curved,
curve,
and then almost. It was so strange.
Yeah, no, I know what you're talking about. It
didn't make any sense.
It lost its kind of rugged design,
Yeah.
Because I really think the Jeep brand, along with the help of probably like Jurassic Park, from the 90s, really established a rugged.
What the heck, dude? I have my thing on.
You have your what on?
I'm back in Riverside. I got my study.
Oh yeah, you do have your study on, yeah. So yeah, I really think like that the whole Jeep rugged outdoors sort of that kind of box design, with the sharp edges. They took away the sharp edge because I think your CRV from the early 2000s had that feel,
Yeah,
it had
that's a Honda,
edges.
right? That's a Honda.
Oh yeah, no, I know it's a Honda, yeah, but I'm just saying that I think Jeep made that look popular.
Oh yeah,
having the solid lines, kind of the boxy body SUV, resembling something that's rugged, that should be in the jungle, that should be in the desert, just carving up dirt and sand,
Yeah. Do you remember how popular Jeeps were at Poly High School?
Oh.
They were. I wanted one too. Like I had asked my parents.
I'm pretty sure Jeeps are still super popular.
Oh, they definitely are.
And they're.
But I don't know why, but I
noticed that in Hawaii,
I feel like they were particularly popular.
Yeah, they're popular in a lot of places, and I noticed in Hawaii they're popular.
Yeah.
I've noticed here at the beach they're popular. I mean, just in general, just beach places they're popular, and then also in like mountains, like mountain areas. You go up snowboarding, you see a good amount of Jeeps there. I just think they're just outdoor vehicles.
They are. They've got good marketing because I'm not sure they're the best cars.
Yeah, I don't know if they are, but maybe they're really popular in California.
It's just an American car.
Well,
Jeep.
I did just say they were popular in Hawaii, but I don't know. I'm thinking they're popular in places that are near water.
Yeah.
You know, like near water and near mountains, like just with
Dude,
a wide variety of outdoor activities.
I don't know what model of the Jeep it is, but it's the one with like the open doors. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
That model, right? I remember from being friends with people who had that Jeep, and some of our friends did. They would have this thing, like if you saw another Jeep of that model, you would like wave, you would like give them a peace sign. It was like this unspoken respect that you both had the same car, and as you were driving by, you would just like give them a little peace sign.
Yeah. Kind of
That's
like
so cool, so unique. I'm gonna start doing that with people with Civics. I'm gonna get in so many accidents, dude.
Do a little, give them a little signal, like, hey, like we agree
Respect.
on something, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
It reminds me of the whole little 2-finger wave when you make room for a motorcycle.
Oh yeah.
And they pass by you and they give you, like, they put their hand down as like a peace, like, thanks, dude. Like,
yeah.
That's
so cool when they don't even do it up. They do
don't
it
do
down.
it up. They just do it down, and it
they
just
do
feels
it down
like,
as they're turning in. So sick.
I don't know. I really like it when motorcycle riders do that for me when I notice them, and it's actually a rare thing for me because so often when a motorcycle is lane splitting during traffic, I am so focused on just the car in front of me.
Yeah,
and like
me
the
too.
cars and like other cars like merging into my lane, just with the bumper to bumper. The last thing you want is some like, oh, I stop looking for 3 seconds and then suddenly I bump into the guy in front of me. Like, you're trying to avoid that as much as you can in traffic. So often I have no idea a motorcycle is about to blaze by me. So often I don't even get the chance to move out of their way. But whenever I see it coming and I get it, I'm always getting out of the way. And then when they don't give me the little, hand down peace sign, I'm just like, darn, dude.
Come on, man. Come on.
I just miss an opportunity for a little rush of happiness there, you know?
Yeah, I definitely think so. Dude, you know what I was just thinking right now? I wonder if they are making motorcycles still loud on purpose, you know? Like, it's probably dangerous for motorcycles to be really quiet. Don't you think?
Holy shit, dude, I never thought of that.
You know, like motorcycles are still loud. Even the like Honda, like Suzuki Speed Racer ones. I don't know what to call them, but they're still loud.
They're still loud, and Harleys are loud, and yeah. So I never thought of it as that. As like it's
probably for safety
It's kind
purposes.
of a safety thing in terms of coming up on cars and being like, because when you're in the position of being a bike with the speed of a car, that's a dangerous situation, and you need to, let people know that you're coming in a way, because when you're just cycling on the streets wherever, you're at a disadvantage already to the cars. Like you're working at another speed, so you stand out more, because you're moving in a different, like you're either in the little tiny bike lane, or you're coming, like it's just more noticeable. Like, people are, I think, more likely to notice a cyclist just because also of just that danger in terms of like, I can hit you and kill you so easily. But it's even the same thing with motorcycles. Dangerous. It's the same thing with motorcycles. And I think that the difference between being on a bike and being on a motorcycle is that when you're on a bike, you're aware that you're a level below the cars. So you kind of play by different rules, you make sure there's no cars. You're just watching out for cars, and then the people driving are doing the same thing. So it's a nice equal playing field. But then on a motorcycle, you're at the same level of cars, so you need something to remind them, hey, you can also like kill me if you bump into me right now. And I think that's the loudness, and I never thought of that until you mentioned it.
I just thought of it now, but in motorcycles are at the most danger when they're passing a car, because it's easy to see a motorcyclist if you're like, if they're in front of you.
Yeah.
But as soon as, I mean, just for instance, traffic, and you're below 25, they're going 25 past you.
Uh-huh.
If you can't hear them and you're trying to switch a lane,
Yeah.
that's when the accidents probably happen, when they're passing the actual car, which bicyclists don't have to worry about because there's no way you're passing any cars on a bike, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, dude, you know what I learned recently on a podcast?
Uh-huh.
You know how cars have ratings? Like the Civic is like rated,
and stuff.
2 times safety, whatever. I don't know,
Yeah.
5-star. What? Yeah, I don't know their safety ratings, or how they do it, but
Uh-huh.
the safety ratings are in comparison to the type of car they are, and it makes sense once you hear it, right? Like you're like, oh yeah, duh. Like obviously a truck is gonna tackle a Civic, totally destroy it.
Yeah.
But you would think that there would be some universal system that would rate, the danger of actually getting a sedan versus getting a beefed up truck,
Mm-hmm.
And there's not. It's like a truck could have a 4-star rating and a Civic could have a 5-star rating. I don't know if Civic's rating is 5-star. I'm just using Civic as an example. Let's just say sedan. Obviously, if a truck hits a sedan, the truck's going to be safe, or safer.
Doesn't matter if it has a 3-star rating.
It's just so crazy to me.
Yeah, that is but that's all based on wanting to sell the cars. Sell the different models, because
absolutely
you already have people that are kind of on the fence about small cars. And I learned this from doing these focus groups where I got to evaluate cars for being an electric car owner. And it was...
Oh, yeah, I remember you telling me about that.
Yeah. There was a common theme of, I don't really like this car because it's small and I don't feel as safe in it compared to like this bigger SUV electric car, which I feel more safe in and stuff like that. And I just think that's a funny, like you already have those built-in audience of people being like, okay, I'm afraid to drive a small car because I feel like I'm going to get crushed. So when it comes to the whole safety rating star thing, they kind of void that, I think, in a sense, in terms of they don't just tell you, this is a small car. It has a 5-star rating.
It's actually really dangerous.
It's actually really but that's, and I think that's not only because they're trying to not create more people who think, I need a big car to be safe, but they're also dealing with just unpredictable things. Like when it comes to driving, it's just, if your car runs and it gets you from point A to point B and allows you to drive at the speed limit of all the zones in your city or whatever, then you're pretty much chilling, and you really just got to hope that nothing bad happens. And because anything, like, it doesn't matter what kind of car you're in, like, you can die from driving and getting in a wreck even if you're in the biggest car or the smallest car. Like, there's just so many situations that you can't account for.
So many variables, yeah. I think even worse, like, you turn that key or you push that button, and your car starts, you could kill someone.
Yes.
You're like, driving that is a possibility. It really is. I remember one of my distant cousins, I don't even know, second or third, I don't know. We were at like a family gathering one time, and he's like 27 or something, and he doesn't drive. Like, he just didn't want to get his license, and he's never gotten his license. I don't know if he's gotten it since, and he's like, they're death traps. And this is before I was even, able to drive. And I was like, what? Like, what is this guy talking about? He's like, I'm not getting in one of those. Like, they're death traps. And I was like, whoa. Maybe to the extreme, but he's got a point.
He does. He does.
They are.
But
I wonder the comparison between, what is the most common cause of death in the United States? Because in other countries, actually, cars are not as popular as in the United States. So I wonder what the comparison is. It's probably up there with like heart disease or something.
I'm pretty sure car crashes is one of the most common ways to die.
This is why we need autonomous vehicles.
Yeah, and oh, dude, this is one of my favorite points about autonomous vehicles. Imagine sitting at a red light. Okay, you're sitting at a red light, and it's fucking backed up. Like,
yeah.
It's so backed up that you don't even know when the light's gonna turn green. You know?
Oh, you can't even see it.
You can't
you're
even see
so
the
far
light.
back.
Like you're so. Imagine being in that scenario, and then the light turns green, and everybody's gas pedal just goes down at the same time. Like, imagine the light turning green, and the whole entire line of cars, the gas pedals go down to go at the same time on green.
Yeah.
If that happens, everybody is making it through that light.
It's true.
Because
it's
you know
true.
that, you know that feeling you have of when you're sitting in that spot and you can't see the green, and you got your buddy looking out the window, and he's like sticking his head out, and he's like, okay, it just turned green. And there's that moment of like 15 to 30 seconds where you're still just sitting there totally stuck, and it's like, but it's green. And that's because you're having to deal with the delay of every single human being and every single car in front of you realizing it's green and having to
it's green and having a safe space in front of them, you know.
Yeah, and just all these processes of human error that have to go down for you to get through that light. It just becomes so difficult. And when you have the whole autonomous car, all the cars are synced up to the light. So as soon as the light's green, all the pedals are going down and they're going.
Yeah, that would be a great system.
Oh,
Definitely
man.
super hard to develop. Like, that is,
no doubt.
We probably won't even get there in our lifetime. I mean,
I don't think we will. No.
We'll definitely see autonomous vehicles. We'll definitely see a push for EV vehicles.
Yeah.
Or I guess EV is electronic vehicle, but I don't think we'll get to a point where cars are literally systemically communicating with one another. You know, like I think that the autopilot per se will be just independent. You know, internal. Looking at sensors. It won't be communicating with other cars. Now, something that I was listening to Elon Musk recently, and something that he said was, he talks about Semitrucks and how it would actually be pretty easy, or easier than most people think, to get them autonomous, because what you could do is what you're saying. You could sync them up, because, you know, you think about Semitrucks, what are they doing? Well, they're on a highway for probably 95% of wherever they're taking the...
And they're going from point A to point B.
Right, exactly. And so what they could do is sync up and almost create like a train, you know, just not connected mechanically, but technologically they are connected, you know?
Yeah.
Super crazy. It's just like you're thinking of these technological advancements, but in a way that is similar to what we have currently as like a mechanical system, you know, like trains connected to one another versus semi-trucks virtually, electronically connected to one another.
Yeah.
Whew, man.
Dude.
So cool, dude.
Did you notice in Logan, you remember Logan, the last
Hugh
of course. Jackman Wolverine movie?
Uh-huh.
It was set in the future, like, I don't know, I think like 2040 or something, just a little bit down the line from where we are right now. But they had what you were talking about in kind of the background of a scene. You know, it's when they're driving on the highway, and he's got actually his name is Daphne, the ex, basically his daughter, the female little girl Wolverine in the passenger seat, and they're driving along like open highway.
I gotta watch that freaking movie again, dude.
Oh yeah, it's always.
I think I might cry this time.
And you notice in the background, like next time you watch it, you'll notice on the highway scene that there's these futuristic-looking trucks that are driving in just straight lines and don't have any drivers in the passenger, and like in the cars. They're just moving.
Sick.
And I remember I was watching the CinemaSins video. You know, shouts out that YouTube channel, and they were giving like a plus, like a thumbs up to the movie. You know, basically a sin removal for the fact that they had that, you know, Cybertruck detail of their future, and they were like, you know, that's a pretty accurate guess for what the future is going to be, you know, in like 20 years.
I mean, it's an educated prediction. Yeah.
Exactly. And they looked cool as hell, you know. They looked like giant Teslas, basically.
Well, just think, you know, I mean, you lived in San Francisco. You know, when you're driving up the 5,
Yeah.
you got all these semi-trucks, and they're kind of like training, you know? I mean, training's not the verb for being a train, but they're being a train, kind of.
It's a caravan. It's a caravan.
Yeah, it's a caravan.
Yeah,
there you go.
Yeah.
And there's all that human error, you know, associated with doing that. Just get rid of all that, and you can imagine.
Oh, yeah.
And, you know, I mean, you can imagine that being great, but in addition, imagine if we had created, you know, highways or at least lanes that were strictly for these type of vehicles. I mean, imagine where we could go from there, right? Like we were talking about it in my information systems class for my MBA. And they were one of the groups in the class was doing a case study on artificial intelligence, and one of the main topics was autonomous vehicles. And, you know, they had touched on this point of, you know, if we actually created infrastructure not for humans, right, with the flashing, you know, reflectors and signs everywhere, but for autonomous vehicles. You know, I mean, right now what we're developing is autonomous vehicles that adapt to, you know, human senses, right? But what if we had created infrastructure, we create infrastructure that is meant for autonomous vehicles only? And then it's just like where can we go? Where can we go from here, you know?
We kind of already have that, like we have the start of that already in the sort of unwritten rule. I mean, I don't know if it is written, but there's that unwritten rule that the big semi-trucks are supposed to drive in the far right lane.
Right.
Like whatever setup of road they're in, they're supposed to be far to the right. The left lane is the fast speed. So we kind of already have the very just early beginnings of that established, in that we already sort of have designated lanes for these giant trucks that just go from point A to point B. So the bigger step is to actually make it a designated lane that is almost running like you said, a train track in a way. You know, it's almost like a computerized train track if you were able to automize vehicles. Because you think about a train is it's set, it's moving from one spot to another, and it's not getting off that route, you know, unless it comes off the rails and just completely crashes and burns, you know. And that's a big risk of the whole autonomous things. Is I've seen videos of Teslas making mistakes. Okay, I shouldn't say videos. I've seen one video. I've seen one video of a Tesla.
I've seen a plethora of videos
losing control on, automatic drive mode.
Do not have Elon Musk on our ass, all right?
Yeah, their automatic drive mode. It was funny. It's like it didn't time up with their garage door opening, so they have this kind of gate garage thing that's coming side to side, like opening like that, and then they're coming in, and the Tesla somehow mistimes the speed it needs to go to wait for the garage, and it just barrels into the garage.
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
I wonder if that is an issue for Tesla. So this is the type of model that Tesla has, right? It's called a digital twin, quote. And what it is it's not, a simulation per se, but what they're doing is they're collecting data from all of their, cars.
Yeah.
And what they do is when they create new models or they're running new software, they'll essentially, using the data that they've collected, create this environment called a digital twin. And so it's really a plethora of data as well as, hundreds of thousands of simulations possibly. I mean, I don't know. I don't know the inner workings of Tesla. But they'll run their new software based on all these simulations that they've created from the data that's coming back from these cars. It's incredible. It's absolutely incredible.
Wow.
And so I wonder if that's actually a problem for Tesla. Or if they put somewhere in their clause of like, you're purchasing a Tesla, but if the autopilot doesn't work, it's on you. Like that would be pretty funny if Tesla offered autopilot and they're like, not our responsibility, you know?
Yeah. It's like you got to figure out how to get that timing down. You know? Like you got to
Hey,
know
you're
when to
supposed to
click
be
your
watching
garage
it at
opener.
all times, you know?
Yeah.
Which is true, but
yeah, exactly. Have your hands on the wheel. Like that's another thing. Like how easy is it to switch away from automatic driving? Like it'd be kind of cool if like
pretty sure if you touch the pedals at all, it will.
Dude, what if there was a car that like as soon as you took away your hands, I mean, maybe there is, I don't know. If there's a car where as soon as you took your hands off the wheel, it just started driving itself.
That would be so sick. That will be the future. That will be the next step.
Yeah, and then as soon as you put your hands back on the wheel, it's just immediately you're back in control. You know? So if you're like just letting it, you know, you're always, but then again, you're always watching the road though. That would still be.
Are you though?
Well, and
why would you take both hands off the wheel?
That's when you run into the garage. That's when you run into the garage.
Ah, yeah, there you go.
Or run into whatever's in front of you that you're just not paying attention to. Like, because you kind of always need to be paying attention, because when it comes to driving, like I said, there's just all those million scenarios. You know?
Yeah.
And until we are able to make driving something where there's not a million scenarios, and it really is point A, point B, I mean, I don't think we're going to be autonomously driving for a long time. Like you said, not in our lifetime, you know.
No, I mean, you got to imagine, right? Like, Amanda and I are thinking about buying a car. We're actually thinking about buying a CRV for her when we get back.
Nice.
I know. It's a full circle for me. I'm low-key, like, a little biased. I'm, like, trying to convince her to get the CRV.
Oh, yeah.
But, you know, I mean, there's only two models of the CRV. There's a hybrid model, which is rare for most, you know, models of cars.
Yeah.
And then there's your gas model, right? And the gas model is way cheaper, and so we're thinking about getting gas.
Yeah.
Of course. So you got to think, if we buy that car in 2021, that's going to be in circulation until probably 2035 at least. 15 years on a car. I mean, depending on how long you drive it, right? And if we sell it, then we sell it, but somebody else is going to drive it. So until that point, or until we get to a point where all vehicles have some sort of autonomous feature and or their EV, we're going to have to wait 15 plus years after that point, you know? Because we have all this mechanical debt, per se, of people buying and purchasing cars right now want their investment to pay off, right?
Yeah,
like if California was like, okay, anyone, you know, or 2022, everyone has to get an electric vehicle, people are going to be like, what the heck? You know, like, I just bought this car. Like, it's not going to happen, you know? I'm just trying to say how ridiculous that would be.
But that's just weird. I mean, that takes me to my what I learned recently, and I was just shocked about, and was like, okay, I'll believe it when I see it. It's that whole 2030 comes around, and suddenly California isn't selling gas-powered cars.
Well, selling gas-powered cars is one thing.
Well, I can't remember. It was Sam or Scott who told me this detail, but it was, I mean,
that might be true.
This fact, but it's like, when 2030, California is not going to be selling gasoline fueled cars.
I think I heard that too.
Have you heard that?
Yeah.
Because I heard that and I was like, wow. And then I think it was Sam who made the joke about like Republican, like as soon as we have a Republican governor, that's going to change or whatever.
Yeah,
but
it's true. Hey, we may go that way this year, dude, or this next year. The way things have been going, jeez.
Yeah, we very possibly could, and that's why, like, I hear that and I'm just like, nah. I just have such a hard time believing that, because
I don't think it's gonna happen. But
there are
at least we're gonna try.
There are gearheads everywhere. You know, there are people who are about just the classic motor. You know, whether it be a truck or a sports car they work on themselves. You know, whatever it is, there's just people out there that the gas powered vehicle. You know, what cars originally were is like never gonna. You know, they're never going to need another option, you know. They're never going to need, like, a newer version, you know, because some people just, like, change. They don't want change in areas where they don't think change is necessary. It's very much the if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So even if 2030 comes around and suddenly, you know, there's no gas-powered cars in any dealership you drive to, I guarantee there's going to blow up just a huge market of people selling cars from person to person, reselling items,
Yeah.
like just keeping the whole gas powered car grind alive. I can see it.
I mean, it's cheaper. It's cheaper
Exactly.
up front. It's cheaper up front,
Yeah.
and there's more infrastructure for it. Like, you got to think. There's a
And
gas station at every
There's gas
freaking
stations
corner,
everywhere.
dude.
It's so much
Every
easier.
freaking corner.
It's so yeah, dude, it's so much easier. Like right now I'm trying to figure out like a way to get to San Francisco come June time and be able to, go to and from with, having 2 full charge points. Like I've been
Yeah.
researching, trying to figure out a way to
Yeah.
drive
They
up
got
there
them on
and-
the 5, though. They
oh
got
yeah,
them on the 5.
they definitely got them, and I found like forums of people just posting all these different ways
Yeah.
to
Oh,
go,
yeah.
like
yeah.
different speeds to drive and like calculate. So it kind of like becomes like this whole math problem, which
yeah, it's tough.
isn't attractive to a lot of people because people are like, okay, I'm not trying to
No.
do math every time I want to do a road
Yeah.
trip. I'd rather just stop at the nearest gas station and fill up and go another 200 miles.
Yeah, I mean, we're definitely limited to the amount of mileage that you can get with an EV vehicle. I
Yeah.
think the top is right now is like somewhere close to like 400.
Mm-hmm.
I could be wrong on that, but
That sounds right to me. Yeah, because
Yeah.
I have a lower tier model of electric car, and
you got like what, 200?
It's just over 200.
Yeah, I mean that's
Yes.
still pretty good.
So
But even the families that have
yeah,
an EV car, they also, I mean, I'm gonna
they also have a
say
gas
this.
car. They also have a gas
They
car. Yeah.
always, usually, most of the time,
Mhm.
have a gas car for longer trips, just in case, So we're not ready. We're
Yeah.
not ready, and unless I see some serious infrastructure changes in California, it's not gonna go well.
I
There's
mean,
gonna be some weird market for like Arizona cars and Nevada cars coming into California,
And best believe I wouldn't be surprised if someone creates an app for like selling or buying
Yeah.
gas cars still. Like
Yeah,
an app,
definitely.
oh, you miss your gas car? Download this app and you'll like basically join the Craigslist of cars that still take gas, And I'm just imagining that whether you just jump like 20 years down the line and suddenly gas has become like a commodity that you trade with. Like you walk to a grocery store with a friggin' thing of gas and you're like,
Yeah.
you drive a gas car? Let me get some bread. I don't see it going there, but I mean, they have 9 years to add electric charging stations everywhere and make them as common as gas stations in California.
It's not gonna happen, bro. It's not gonna happen.
What is
There's
9
just
years,
no
Ryan?
way.
What can you accomplish in 9 years? I have no idea. Can you do that in 9 years? I have no idea.
You could, but they're not
You know?
going to.
Now I have
I mean, the
something
amount
to
of
look forward to
investment-
in 9 years.
The amount of investment that's needed to do something like that, I mean, you
Yeah.
gotta have, first of all, you gotta have stupid money, because one, where are gas stations located? Major hubs. There's not. I mean, think about the plaza, dude.
non-major hubs.
Think about even non-major hubs. But let's talk about major hubs right now. Think about Riverside Plaza, right?
Uh-huh.
Imagine California trying to install some sort of EV charging station at the Riverside Plaza. Good luck. Good luck. You're not selling it. You're not buying out the Chevron there, the Shell. You might be able to buy out USA Gasoline or whatever it is now. But you got to have stupid money to do that. And California's not going to get that accomplished. I mean, there's just no way, So it's a grim outlook. It is. But I think the natural transition, we got to have, companies that are intriguing for consumers.
Mm-hmm.
That's really what it is. I mean, I don't think it's going to be like a public job. It's got to be like a privatized trend that happens. With Tesla, like Teslas are valued very high, and they're in high demand.
Mm-hmm.
And until we start coming out, and right now it's, the market is mainly Tesla, or the market trend is mainly Tesla.
Yeah.
But there are alternative options, right? Like you have a Chevy Bolt, right?
Uh-huh. True.
And there's other options like BMW has some. But I think until we have other companies out there like Tesla who only produce EV models and they're popular, I think that is when we start seeing the transition. Not because California makes it law. Like they're gonna push it back. There's just no way. There's no way that gets accomplished.
Yeah.
I hope it does. I really do. I hope it's a great transition, but I just don't see it happening, you know?
Yeah, it'd be kind of like if they made like a rule, like they announced like, oh, in 2025, California is going completely vegan. You would immediately be like, wait, but what about like, you just immediately think of all those things that have meat and are so popular in California, and you're just like, wait, but the business of it is so like, that's not gonna happen.
I mean, it would be okay to say California no longer sells beef, which is the main contributor. I think people would freak the fuck out and leave, but I think
dude,
we would be able to accomplish it.
Think about all the people in line at In-N-Out every day.
What would they do? They would make a turkey burger or something, dude.
Yeah, In-N-Out.
Turkey production would be way up.
But that's what's so wild about In-N-Out is that they're only a California. Oh, well, I mean, I do know they have locations in other states.
They're in Nevada and Colorado now.
Also Arizona, I think.
Oh yeah, possibly yeah.
For a while, they're like, I do remember when I was, younger, when we were wee lads. I'm pretty sure In-N-Out was only California.
A wee lad, eh? All right.
So that's a prime example. It's just like, I think it lines up in a way.
It does.
Electric
There's some
cars,
correlation.
Vegetarians. I'm not a vegetarian, and I drive an electric car, so I kind of break that lineup.
You break even.
I do think that thinking that we can be like, okay, yeah, all dealerships sell electric cars in 9 years in California, that kind of feels like, oh, yeah, we can all be vegan in 9 years in California.
It's on par. Yeah, you're right.
They feel like the same thing because I feel like we're so rooted in the businesses of both meat and fuel here in California that I just find it hard to believe. But like I said, that's why I'm excited to see when it comes. Where are we?
I got hope for actually the meat business. There are these artificial, or what is it called? Lab created meats that are coming out now, where they like feed them. I don't know how the heck they grow the meat or the steaks artificially, but they do somehow. And then there's also have you had like an Impossible Burger or Beyond Meat burger?
I haven't had either actually. Have you?
They're good. Like they're really good.
I've heard they're very good. I've heard they taste like basically the real thing.
They do. Like I mean, they're not a steak though, like a ribeye steak cooked on the grill. I mean, just another world. Yeah. But if you slap that in an In-N-Out burger, throw some cheese on it.
Oh yeah.
Veggies, secret sauce. Yeah. You could probably do that for. This would be a great experiment, actually. Put like that within maybe 4 or 5 patties in your day and see if someone complains. I bet that they wouldn't. Like that's how good they're getting it.
Yeah, like
and it's only gonna improve.
Just like kind of a social experiment one day. Of like a Burger King worker serves the Impossible Whopper when someone orders a regular and just sees if, they
notice.
They notice. Yeah, exactly. I think
highly illegal. Definitely don't do that. But
that's what their commercials are, though. That's what's funny. I've seen Impossible Whopper commercials for Burger King where they have the people sit down and they give them the Impossible Whopper. And they're like, oh, this is a great Whopper. And I know it's fake. I know it's just actors and stuff. I know that. But it's just they already used that concept in a fake world to sell the burgers. So it'd be funny if an actual employee literally did that,
Yeah.
And then like, holy shit, it works,
Yeah. Well, it'd be one thing if somehow they knew that the person wasn't allergic to anything.
Yes.
Like somehow they got that data.
Yes.
I don't know. Maybe a family member was in on it. Something like that.
Mm-hmm.
That could be done. And then I would say it's real. But, I mean, I'm going to try and buy more of those type of burgers. I really am. But, again, it's not a steak, Until they can start making, like, fake steaks, then we're in trouble still. You know?
Yeah.
I mean, they're so good.
And that's what I've
So
noticed about
tasty.
pretty much
There's
all.
something primal about them.
Yeah, I've noticed about all vegan products is that standing on their own, you immediately know this isn't the real thing. But when you put all these other things around it, you combine it with other stuff, you can kind of hide the fact that it isn't real, which is, what the bun, the lettuce, the tomato, the ketchup, and so on does with an Impossible Burger. And it's like you said, with a nice steak, there's just nothing. You can't copy that, because with a real delicious steak that's cooked well and so on, that is the meat is all that it's everything,
Right.
There's nothing else.
Yeah.
It's just the meat. That's what you're enjoying. And there's nothing else to, so that's exactly why
the
work.
idea about this is what I struggle with, right? I mean, I do think that Beyond Meat and Impossible Burger, and maybe there's more, are good, we're making steps towards something that could be mass produced and something that could hopefully help the environment, right?
Yeah.
But then again, what is ground meat? Ground meat is the lowest tier meat that is made just so we're not wasting other parts of the, cow in this case.
Mm-hmm.
So it's counterintuitive in that way, and I don't know any data on it, but this is just my thought process. I'd love to see a study done. Is it really helping, or is it or what are the implications of actually stopping ground beef production versus everyone migrating over to a Beyond Meat or vegan type of meat? I don't know, but that's something that is on my mind, right?
Yeah.
And when we still have these steaks in production, which are really good, then we have to be, using all the parts of the cow, or else we're wasting things, right? And I mean, I guess we could put it back in the soil. I don't know how it works, but these are just my thoughts.
Yeah. I think I think that we use probably every part of the cow, and then we use every part of the pig for the hot dogs and so on and stuff. And there's no
hot dogs, dude. Hot dogs? Oh my
they're
God, hot dogs are
pork,
disgusting.
They're just
dude.
pork anuses, right? They're just like pork butts. I'm pretty sure they're just pork butts.
I don't know. I don't know about, but I know that it's really gross. It really is it's every single part that's edible that is not good.
That can't be served
wouldn't
on its
taste
own.
good on your own, right?
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
So we're using every part of the animal, so there's no waste, per se, or the least amount of waste possible.
Oh yeah.
So I watched a couple of videos online about how hot dogs are made, and I don't know unless it's a good, pork sausage or something.
Yeah.
I won't eat it, to be honest.
Yeah, you see
a classic hot dog anymore. I don't know.
Yeah,
it just doesn't appetize me.
Yeah, what's funny about me? I'm the complete opposite.
You're a cold hot dog guy?
Well,
just
no, not
plain.
even cold. No. I mean, I am a guy who can throw a hot dog in a microwave and then enjoy it.
Okay, well at least it's hot.
Yeah, but I've also seen clips of hot dogs being made, and what it looks like. I've seen the
even bother. Doesn't phase you.
It doesn't phase me. No, I've seen the video of Snoop Dogg reacting to things being made, and he reacts to the hot dogs.
Oh,
being
really?
made,
I haven't
and
seen
it's
that.
pretty hilarious because he's super grossed out. And then I've also seen a video of a bunch of baby chickens being,
Dude, I have
up
a funny
for-
story about that.
for nuggets or whatever. And
Yeah.
I still love chicken nuggets. So I just think I'm impervious to that kind of stuff because I just having it surround me and having it be so easily accessible to me at all times, and also having it taste so good.
Yeah.
Kind of
It's
completely erases all that stuff. It's pretty hard to make me not want to go to the store right now and not go to McDonald's right now and get chicken McNuggets.
Yeah.
And love
Exactly.
every bite, it's
or
hard.
just frozen nuggets, just to have.
Frozen nuggets,
it's
just as good, dude.
Man, it's tough. I have a funny story about those chicks getting shredded up. Not that that's a funny thing, but
Yeah.
And maybe you had the similar experience. Maybe they do like a tour up California, but we had people come to Cal State East Bay, and they set up like a little booth.
Yeah.
It wasn't even a booth. It was like a circular station, and they had, I mean, it was legit, dude. They had TVs, they had headphones and stuff. Of course, pre-COVID.
Yeah.
And they were advertising, like, I'm going to give you $1 if you watch this video. And it was literally like the most gruesome shit I've ever seen in terms of like chicken development or whatever.
Yeah.
Or chicken processing, excuse me. And it's funny, me and my Nigerian friend Grant were watching it together. And after they had like asked us, and they were asking us like, does this make you feel like any different about, you know, are you going to change your habits? And a part of me really wanted to be like, no. I felt so bad. I mean, it hit me. Like, I was like, yeah, this is really sad, and I'm really sorry this has to happen. But I need an alternative. You know? I mean, I don't really eat. I eat more turkey than chicken for sure. And then beef, and then probably chicken. But chicken's a little too bland for me. I need some flavor.
I'm probably chicken. Then I would. Now beef is for sure above. But yeah, I think I eat the most of chicken. I really like chicken. I just like how chicken is like you said. I kind of like the blandness of it in a way, because with the blandness of chicken, you're able to just kind of manipulate the flavor of it and make it taste good by adding other stuff.
Also, how are we going to replace chicken wings, man? Like this, how are we going to do that?
How can we do that? Yeah, it's impossible.
I mean, chicken wings, sports, you know, like something like just picture this MMA fight. Dustin Poirier versus Conor McGregor. You got buffalo, barbecue, lemon pepper chicken wings.
Gas.
How do we replace that? You know? With ranch on the side. I mean, it doesn't. I don't know.
It doesn't do the same.
What do we do?
Well, we just gotta bank on.
Here's what I do.
That business is business, and it will never die. It will never die, Ryan. I really think in our lifetime
it may never die, but we will get to a point. No, we won't ever lose meat. I don't think. But we may get to a point where it is rare. I think.
Oh, wow.
I mean, especially if the environment keeps going, man, we won't be able to produce as much. I mean, if the environment keeps getting hotter, then we won't be able to produce as much food, true. You know? So it will happen one day, you know, a mass consensus of, okay, we need to reduce, but it will never go away. At least not in our lifetime, I don't think.
Well,
who knows?
Here's to meat.
Here's to meat.
And shouts out to all the animals who have given their lives for us to enjoy delicious treats. I think that's a good place to close the episode.
I guess so. If we're,
70 coming to an end. Thank you for listening. Thanks for sticking around for this weird talk that has gone places where I actually wasn't expecting it to, but that's usually how it is.
I never expected to talk about cars, EV cars, and then
meat.
That was not my expectations. But
it
hey,
felt
this
like
is how we roll
transition.
here. Yeah. This is how we flow. So thank you so much. Like Frank said, love y'all. Like, comment, subscribe. Peace out.
We'll see you on the next episode. Peace.